Guys, it's finally time for my Christmas review. This is possibly the weirdest Christmas movie and the worst one I've ever seen. And that's after seeing Christmas with the Cranks. And that's voted as the worst. I think this is much worse. So let's travel to Mars as I review Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. First of all, let's start off with the plot. So, Martians kidnap Santa Claus because, as it says on the cover, the children on Mars want Christmas too. Well, if that doesn't scream stupid, then I don't know what does. The movie is really, really boring too. And half the time I forget it's supposed to be a Christmas movie. Like, take a look at Home Alone or Elf. Those have the Christmas spirit in them. This literally doesn't even feel like a Christmas movie. Like, I legit forgot it was supposed to be one. The only way it's a Christmas movie at all is that it has Santa Claus in it, and part of it takes place in the North Pole. The title feels misleading too. Santa Claus, spoilers, doesn't conquer the Martians. And the final battle at the end, it's awful. Let's just say that instead of actually battling, they use a bunch of little toys, and get this, they blow bubbles. I'm dead serious. This is actually what happens. It's really, really pathetic. All the jokes are just terrible. What's round? You put over a campfire and is green. A marshmallow. Ha! And you know what's pretty sad? That's considered comedy gold in this movie. And then there's one part where you can literally hear the set crew, like the camera guys and stuff, laugh at one of the jokes. And it sounds like almost a sitcom. Here, I found a clip, so I'm gonna show it. Here it is.
It was the biggest chimney I'd ever been in. And then suddenly I realized it wasn't a chimney at all. It was the smokestack of the Queen Elizabeth.
There are times, though, in the story where it's so stupid it's hilarious. So at least that brings my score up a little bit. So I'd say overall the story is basically I'd say a 2 out of 10. And this is exactly why my brother calls it a bad Star Trek episode. That's what he compares it to. Moving on to the effects. I know it's the 1960s, they didn't have the technologies, but there were still movies like James Bond, which hold up okay. But this movie, it just looks like it was filmed on a 1-cent budget. I'm not kidding. If you don't believe me, take a look at the infamous polar bear scene and then try telling me that it looks decent, even for 1960 standards.
Uh-oh.
Look. Oh my god. If you look closely at the polar bear, you can see the human shape. And then there's the cardboard box robot.
Betty, that's not Santa's house. What is it? I don't know.
I don't know, maybe it's a cardboard box robot. They didn't even try to make it move like a robot. And the spaceship looks terrible also. My cousin described it as a soda can with a candle attached to it. Which it kind of looks like that. Here, I'll pull up a picture. imagine at the end of this skizzers is like the top of the fire. So you'd think that it would, if the fire is flaming out this way, then it would send you that way. But no, it goes this way, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Then there's this one scene where it kind of cuts, but they do it really badly. I can't find it, but it goes something like this. I'm gonna be a bit more lenient here. I would usually give these effects a 1 out of 10, but since it's 1960s and it's a little more excusable, I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. I would probably give it more of like a 4 or 5, but then because of the polar bear, and they could have just like stuffed it, probably, or something. They could just put stuffing in there to make it look more like a polar bear. Like, that's what my mom did when I was a giant grizzly bear for Halloween when I was 6. She just put in a bunch of stuffing. It was uncomfortable, but at least it looked good. Oh my god, the characters. This is probably the most painful part. Because there were moments in this story where it was so stupid, it was hilarious. Effects that looked so bad, I couldn't help but laugh. But the characters, there's nothing. Starting with Santa Claus, he's barely in it until the second half. And he doesn't even seem like he does okay as Santa Claus, but John Call, but I think they could have probably done a lot better. The two kids, oh god, they're so annoying, especially the little girl. I mean, these kids are so stupid. They're like, it's a mean Martian man. And the little girl, she's just always like, she's just like, I'm good. Come on. Let's go to Santa's house already. My god. And there's the Martians, which are probably the worst offenders. Especially this one guy, he's so annoying. He tries to dress up like Santa Claus, and you know, these guys actually believe it. They actually believe this guy's Santa Claus. You may be thinking, how bad can it be? Here, I'll show you.
Oh, now I'm Santa Claus?
Yeah, even though you don't have glasses like John Call does.
Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
He does a terrible job of putting on the hat. Like, you can still see his Martian thing. He just puts it over the antenna and calls it a day.
Everyone, ho, ho, ho!
And he's so over the top. He's so annoying.
Tired. I think I'll go down to the workshop and make some more toys.
Why is he acting like Santa Claus when no one's around? You don't have to do that. That's like if Jim Carrey's acting like Fletcher Reed, even though he's not filming.
Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho!
Other characters really aren't that important. There's that one guy who's trying to kill Santa, but he's just bland. And the other Martians are, like, useless. The robot looks like trash, so does the polar bear. And for some reason, they barely put face paints on any of the characters. Other characters really aren't that important. There's that one guy who's trying to kill Santa, but he's just bland. And the other Martians are, like, useless. The robot looks like trash, so does the polar bear. And for some reason, they barely put face paints on any of the characters. Overall, I'm gonna say 2 out of 10. Because Santa Claus is okay, but all the other characters suck. Oh my god. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians is awful. Never watch it. Ever. Because I don't want you to have to feel my pain. The characters are terrible. The story's terrible. The effects are so cheesy. They just look awful. Even for 60 years ago. Actually, more like 50 years ago. But still, you get my point. Just don't watch it. Go watch Elf, Home Alone, or some other good Christmas movie. Stay away from this one. It ain't worth your time. If you didn't figure that out already. This movie definitely not worse than Dumb and Dumber 2, because that movie's just offensive. This movie's offensively stupid. So, the 2 out of 10, like I said, that doesn't make it worse than a 3 out of 10 movie, because it's not. If I take it, that was just based on the quality of the movie. If I take in consideration how hilariously stupid it is, then I'd say it's more of, I'd say maybe 5 out of 10. So yeah, I'm sorry for not posting anything. Just school and life. Bye! Ooh, that was the most grand. The